Mic check, mic check, mic check. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Mic check, mic check. You see the normal course. It's giving you directions already. Call and response. Hit the like button. If you're watching and you have not subscribed, please do so. And if you're wondering why you can't comment, it's because you're not subscribed yet. Subscribers gotta be a subscriber to comment. One that keeps the bots out, and two that grows the channel. That grows the channel. So again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Got a special one today. Shout out to who was first in here today. I think Steven was first today. Besides me, Steven was first in here today. Brandon, you slipping. Brandon, you slipping. Steven beat you in here today. Then you let Suge beat you earlier this week. Brandon, you slipping. You slipping. The intro music will be back next week. I was trying something a little different. The intro music will be back next week. We'll have the intro music, the little elevator music that plays while we're waiting. I was trying a little something different, and I thought about that today. I'm like, it's just 4 minutes of nothingness. So I'm gonna bring the intro music back and just gotta do it in a different program. That's all. So a few shout outs before we get started. What up, Brandon? Already I mentioned Brandon. What up, Steven? They were the first ones in here. Jane Doe Fridays. Special. Tomorrow's their big day. If you don't know what tomorrow is, you just don't know. But tomorrow's their big day. So, it would have been a great time to have some of them products close to you, nearby you, if you can use them. Who else we got in here? Let's see who else we got. Team Ramey, appreciate you for coming through. Will, appreciate you for coming through. Who else? Everybody say hello. Before we get started. Jeff J, I see you. Big Red, C Iron, Yolanda. All right. Brandon giving call and responses. Chill. Just chill, Brandon. Just chill. We go get to it. Just chill. See? I already started. Brandon woke up from his nap and chose violence. Already. We're gonna get to all that. We're gonna get to it. What up, Clock? What up, D Weezer? What up, Marcus? What up, Ravens roster? What's that? B Dub 64. Appreciate you guys, Marcel. Let's fire this thing up. So again, today's topic is the management, Baltimore management, and that's specifically Bisciotti, Costa, Harbaugh. Thing is, when are they gonna come out the pass? Why are they stuck in the past? If and when are they gonna change? And do they even need to change? Is what they doing, legit? Everybody, I know people are on one side of the fence or the other with this. So that's why I kind of put this out there, because there's going to be people that say, hey, keep it how it is. We've been doing this for all this time. We got 2 Super Bowls. Let's keep it straight. And there's going to be others that say, the opposite. So that's what today is about, which side of the fence you're on and why. And first off, we're going to start off with our Jane Doe comment of the day. Then we're going to bring in our special guest. Go. Let me get me off. All right, Jane Doe comment today is coming from Off Grid Woodsman. And to be a part of the comment of the Jane Doe comment of the day, what you have to do is when I put the topic there in the community tab in my channel, you go over there, make a comment, and I'll pick one to be the Jane Doe comment of the day. And then at the end of the month, you're in a raffle to win a prize from Jane Doe for high days. And that's how that works. So let's read this comment, and then we'll move on. I think in some ways, for instance, the way we didn't prioritize wide receivers, it should be a priority to always have game changers at the position. Another example is how we build our defense. We spend most of our cap on secondary. It's also effective to have a great D-line / pass rush. No QB, including Tom Brady and Mahomes, is effective with a consistent pass rush in their face. We've done it with scheme and not true talent for a while now. I wholeheartedly disagree with most fans. Criticism of our organizational philosophy being stuck in the past. The last 22 Super Bowls, the Rams, the Buccaneers, the Patriots twice, Broncos, Seattle, Baltimore, even though the NFL pulled electricity to stop the blowout, Giants twice, Pittsburgh, Pats 3 times, Bucks, and Baltimore all won with good to great defenses. The Ravens' balanced philosophy running the ball and resting the defense, reducing great QB's opportunities and defense, red zone and turnovers, and with good special teams. because you got a special teams coach. Field position and scoring has worked and will continue to work. With our improving wide receiver room, Monken's more balanced attack, and our elite D and special teams, we found a sweet spot again. That's why I say that, because some people are on one side of the fence, some people are on the other side, and so I'll give my 2 cents on it. I give my 2 cents on it, then we'll bring Hendo in and let him give his part of it. I think, and he made all good points. Let me go back to the comment. Off-grid Woodsman made good points. And I did a video about changing the philosophy, and I don't know if it was on the round table or what, but we talked about those teams and those good defenses. We went all the way back to the last time we won the championship. So those teams did have good defenses. And the thing is, the NFL has evolved more recently than some of those championships. I would say in the last 5 years. And with that being said, I think you're going to move to a more offensive mindset. Now, defense, I don't think defense wins championships anymore. I think situational defense wins you championships. I do agree with the fact that we need to control the clock. And controlling the clock these days ain't necessarily running the ball 75 times. It could be your short passing game, quick passing game, mixed in with your run, throws to the back. It's a bunch of ways to control the clock without just pounding down somebody's throat. Because JK was running against 9, 10, 11 people in a box. So it's going to have to be spread. And I'm hoping Monken is the guy to do so. But with that being said, appreciate your off-grid Woodsman for your comment. And let's bring in our special guest for the day. Let me see. Let me get this off. Get me back up here. Bam. So today we have for you the host of the Rogue Pod, one of the 6 members of the Ravens Roundup, one of the co-host of
Electric Relaxation.
We ain't got that for yet.
I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm not a co-host. That's Brodney and Suge.
Yes, you are. The co-host of A Still Conspiracy with Brodney and Suge. He's 1/3 of that, and he's a co-host of Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway. What up, Hendo?
What's going on, Coach? Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. So before we get to the phone lines, I want to you kind of heard what we was talking about. Now throw this up there. Let me see if my little special thing worked that I tried today. Let's see. Oh, it did work.
Oh.
It did work. Okay. So with that being said, is management stuck in the past? If and when will they change, or do they even need to change? Where do you stand on this topic?
I most definitely believe we're stuck in the past. It's kind of like going through high school and college.
Mm-hmm.
You had a particular line or a particular way you used to pick up chicks. And if it was very successful, you continued those ways into adulthood. Now you're in your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Those same pickup lines and those same corny moves don't work on women anymore. And the same goes for this organization.
Go ahead, man.
you got me laughing. So look at it like this. I'm not trolling, bro. I'm hoping. So I look at it like this. The Ravens they confuse me at times.
Mm-hmm.
They sometimes, to me, this is my opinion, they seem to outsmart themselves. They prioritize positions that aren't important throughout the NFL. We zag when others are zigging. So we sit here and I understand past trauma sometimes presents present solutions. And I mean by that is the Ravens have always had an issue with the cornerback position and people getting hurt. Too many people getting hurt. So we over prioritize that. But the problem the issue I have with that is there are 2 positions in the NFL to me that are most dangerous. That would be the wide receiver position is one. The Ravens prioritize guarding the wide receiver position, but they take no stock into having teams guard our wide receiver position. So to me, that's kind of, it's mind boggling. Secondly, the most important on the field in the NFL is the quarterback. Now we draft, we stockpile, we allocate to get cornerbacks, but a cornerback's best friend is a pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
We don't invest in a pass rush. We invest in young talent that we expect to carry the team. We invest in older veterans. We never go out and get talent that can get to the quarterback. And like, what was it? Off the Grid Woodsman said, back in the day, the only reason we were so successful against Tom Brady was because we got pressure up the middle. And we had pressure on the edges. You would have thought that we would have learned from those tendencies that, hey, even the greatest quarterback of all time, we're one of the only teams that has his number. Now, if we'd have had a little bit more offense at times, just like in today's NFL, we would have beat them a little more on the regular. But, you know, they go with what worked at a specific time. And if you go back to the Super Bowls, yes, you, like you said, you have to have situational football, especially on the defensive side. Our last Super Bowl that we won, defense wasn't particularly great. And they played a lot of minutes because they couldn't get off the field. They played a lot of minutes that whole playoff run. And towards the end, even with that extra break with the lights going out, the defense couldn't hold San Francisco. If we hadn't scored all those points from offense and special teams, we may not have won the game. And also, if Greg Roman had ran the ball at the end, maybe a different thing. So for the people that said defense led us to that championship, they really didn't. All they remember is the goal line stance.
Right.
So, you know, even with the Seattle and Denver Super Bowl, Seattle had the number one defense, but they also could score points.
Yes.
And their special teams was awesome with the Florida kid, Percy Harvin.
Yeah. Forget about Percy.
People, you know, so people always want to go back to defense. No, it's situational defense, as we've shown throughout history. And I think somebody was talking about earlier how they said that the 2006 Ravens, they considered them one of the greatest defensive.
I don't even know how you knew.
No, somebody was talking about it earlier. I don't know what.
No,
okay. All right. So yes, they need to change. I'm not saying that we need to get away from running the football because that does help in inclement weather, no doubt. Right. But when teams load up to stop the box in the playoffs, because the NFL playoffs is just like the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
In the NBA, they run up and down the court all season long. But when the playoffs start, now they play half court defense, and teams don't know what to do. That's what happens with us. We run up and down the field, but when the playoffs comes and these defensive coordinators who get paid as well, scheme to us, now we don't know what we're going to do. So I think we don't have to have a wholehearted change, but we do have to adapt to this modern NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to change scheme or anything. I just think we need to invest more offensively. That way we can, like the way we were set up in the past. Yes, we had great defenses, but if we got behind more than a score, we couldn't throw the ball. So now we just at least need to have the ability and have the guys on the team that if we're down 2 touchdowns early, we can throw the ball to try to catch up. Because if we got down early in the past, you just sit back, let us run it, get 3 yards, time will run. Get 3 yards, time gonna run. Get 4 yards, maybe we get a first down, but that's 3 minutes gone. So you just got to have the ability to go in and be able to offensively move the ball while helping your defense. And I ain't saying defund the defense or don't have a great defense because you're going to need it. And we played some situational defense last year. The offense wasn't helping us and they got tired. Right. So that's why we blew a lot of leads. No, we're not blew a lot of leads early because I think was still getting his feet wet, the defense coordinator. But late in the year when the offense couldn't move the ball at all, they were tired, and that's why they blew them leads. I think there's 2 different sets of blown leads. Early in the year, it was the defense coordinator getting his feet wet, and we were at one point playing 3 rookies with Hamilton, Pepe, and J. Loma Davis. Then late in the year, I just think the offense didn't help the defense out, and they were constantly on the field, and they just got tired and got it. And even if they didn't get tired, they were out there so much that the other offensive coordinator found a weak spot and was able to expose them. So, with that being said, we're going to get to these phone lines. Now, we might have something that I did not think of. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. I gotta figure out how you gonna hear them.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how you gonna hear them. Part of the conversation.
Oh well, you know.
I may have to translate. Hold on.
Listen. Let me just open up YouTube real quick and I'll listen to it that way.
I didn't think about that.
It happens.
Let's see. Let me know when you're ready. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. First up. DDSQ, you first on the line.
What's going on, Coach? How you doing? What's going on, Hendo?
Hey,
Can
what's
you
going
hear?
on?
Oh, you hear him through me or through you?
No,
I can hear him. I can hear him slightly. I didn't hear what he said, so I hope I hope I don't say anything that he already said.
No, I just
But first off,
I'm trying to see if he can hear you.
I can hear him.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's perfect, man. But I just want to first start saying I love what you guys doing. Appreciate y'all allowing me to come into your community. Even though I'm not really a true Ravens fan, but y'all have welcomed me in, and I like to support all of y'all channels. So just want to get that out
The bros are always welcome if I'm around.
Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. But what I would say, first I'll start talk about is what the because the topic is what the Ravens are doing are outdated and needs to be redone.
Mm-hmm.
But I will make the argument that the majority of the NFL is outdated. And I think the Ravens fall in line with it. Because if you look at it, especially now, because you remember when we was coming up, the West Coast offense was a new innovative thing. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's like every team runs a variation of the West Coast offense. Every head coach for the most part is a variation of whoever started the West Coast. Now it's Shanahan. Before it was Holmgren. That was and you got McVay and the guy out in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So most offenses are similar, and their mindsets of how they want to build their team and who's their quarterbacks are similar. And it's like everybody's still trying to chase Peyton Manning as their quarterback and run this West Coast style and want that statue. Where the league is changing. If you look at it, Andy Reid is one of the few coaches, and the way he runs his organization, who is not stuck in that old mentality, and that's why his teams are always successful. Because if you look at who heard of Patrick Mahomes before they drafted him, nobody heard of him. Now
Cliff Kingsbury, that's it.
Exactly, and they built an offense around him, and they were successful. He did the same thing with McNabb when they got him. Nobody thought that he could play quarterback in the league, and then they did the same. He did the same thing when Michael Vick coming out of jail, and look how he looked. And look at Mahomes.
Yep.
So I would say, like I say, I don't know all the ins and outs of the Ravens, but I've always followed them from afar. You know what I'm saying? Like Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. But I would say I wouldn't say that you need to tear it all down. But I do think that Harbaugh's days need to be numbered, and they need to bring in a fresh idea. Because from what I see, is a power struggle going on, and how they really want to build the team. Because if you look at them drafting Hollywood, and they wanted to bring in another receiver in 2020, they couldn't. So could you imagine an offense with a healthy Rashad Bateman if Hollywood was still on the team, how it would look? I don't think that's how Wisconsin really wants to build. And I would hate for him to have waited all that time and they're not successful. And he gets fired and he never gets to see his true vision. The team gets go. That's just my 2 cents. What do you think about what I said?
Tendo, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, I can see all of his points. Most of it's a copycat league. Once a team is successful running something, other teams seem to follow. I just think that where other teams differ from the Ravens is, they may be running a West Coast style, but they do different variations of it because you start getting coaching trees and they start trickling off and implementing their own little changes, like Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan, I wouldn't put him up with Andy Reid, but he's up there. But with us, we're still running a 2012 offense. We've taken no bits of the West Coast offense and implemented it into our style. We just said we're going to be the most run dominant team in history. And that's our goal. Like that is their goal, to run the ball constantly. And to me, I just think that not having an open mind about it causes issues. And that's Harbaugh's downfall, because how many times are we going to get to the playoffs and run the ball 6 times and go out in the first round, but everybody still wants to say we're Super Bowl contenders when we can't get out of the first round of the playoffs? So something has to change. Something.
Gotcha. And my take on it is, you don't have to just constantly run the ball. Like I mentioned it earlier, the short passing game and I know it's on a totally different level. I'm not trying to compare what I did to the NFL, but in my eyes, and what I used to try to do with our kids, the short passing game was just an extension of the run game. Your stick wraps, your quick hitches, your snag concept. Those 3 concepts by themselves, even mesh, are just extensions of the run game without running the ball. You basically getting, especially if you got a guy like Tyreek Hill or maybe a slot guy that's kind of built like a running back. That's just a way to get them the ball in space and not have the dangers of throwing the ball 10, 15, 20 yards down the field.
You see what you see what KC does with Jared McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
The short passes. That dude had 9 receiving touchdowns last year.
Right.
As a running back. All short yardage.
Right. Any closing comments, Q?
Yeah, I do. Just one last thing, because I know you coached at the high school level. I saw a video online, and it was one of the guys that was on Andy Reid's staff, and he was saying that that the NFL is 3 to 5 years behind where college football is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the offenses, the teams that have adopted what goes on Saturday, and the teams in college who adopted what goes on Friday,
mm-hmm.
you look at their quarterbacks and compare them to what the league thinks is a prototypical quarterback,
right.
They look different, and those guys aren't coming in the league no more. And I think that's one of the reasons why these media and front office people, they cream all over Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, because those guys, they know that they're last of a dying breed. But I'll call back next week, and I do want to have some comments about Lamar, but that's not the topic for today. Man, I appreciate it.
You know it will be.
Love what y'all doing.
I appreciate it.
I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna continue to support you guys.
I appreciate it. Much love. So before we go on, I'm gonna appreciate Megan for dropping 5. She says, "Great to hear Ravens fans shouting out the Seahawks," and I love it and hope to hear more. Megan's the head moderator of the Seahawks channel. And
correct.
She found, I don't know how she found us, but she been in and out of our streams, mine, Hendo's, LBHTs, everybody. So I appreciate you, Megan, for coming through.
Hey, also I want to shout out Megan. She signed up for my Patreon on Sunday, and I sent you a message, Megan, to join the Discord. So go in there and get that message, please. Again,
if you want to join the Patreon over here to be a part of the fantasy football and to get your Sip to Tally chalice. I'm sorry, Mike, if you're listening. Sip to Tally chalice. Go to patreon.com/Sip to Tally. Second caller we got coming up. So I guess it worked out fine. I was sweating, wondering if I could hear you, but it's all good.
Yes,
Second
sir.
caller.
We'd have made it way.
Will G, you up? What's good, buddy?
What's good? What's good, Hendo? I can't hear Hendo on the line, so I don't know if I'll be able to hear Hendo.
Can you hear me?
Of course, appreciate all y'all do, man. Y'all
at
the top pretty much in the
Hold on, Will.
Ravens Nation.
Hold on, Will.
You hear me?
Say something, Hendo, see if he can hear you.
Can you hear me, Will?
It's real low.
Okay, go ahead. We'll translate.
Well, congratulations for signing up for the football league.
I'm 3 for 3 this week. 3 PTs and 3 callings.
Oh. Hey, swish. That's what I need Kerr to do the rest of this week.
Right. So I'm just gonna basically put what as I got out of PT, I wrote, on the comment thing. A few months ago, I'd be like, yeah, we still the same Ravens. We're still that I formation, strong eye, weak eyes. 2 wide receivers, sometimes not even 2 wide receivers. Pretty much run, and then basically try to take 1 or 2 shots. Pretty much to try to score, pretty much. But the previous Ravens, if the run game don't work, or if you get a false start or something like that, the whole drive is gone because you don't have that spread, type passing offense. But now that I've seen, you talking about Monken, and now that I've seen that they've gone out and got OBJ, and they still in the hunt for Hopkins, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give the management right now the benefit of the doubt that they're realizing you got to score over 24, 25 points, especially to beat a team, like the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think we're going to see a lot more 3 wide, 1 tight end, 1 running back, single back type style, this season. And also if we go spread, 2 tight ends, 3 wides, 4 wides, 1 tight end, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt for like 3 or 4 games. And if I see the fullback going to the slot, then I'm like, no, this ain't ready.
Here, dog. What you think about
it? I'll let you go on this one, Coach.
Here's where I am with it, and this is one of the reasons I put this topic up there, because to me, it looks like they're making moves to come into the 2023 NFL. That's what it looks like. Right. And I hope, what I hope is, if we don't have success soon as it starts, go back to the record all over the place. But right now, it looks like we're moving toward a more modern NFL because you got Monken, and everybody loves to harp on the tight ends, but Monken has run every kind of offense imaginable. He just happened to run 2 tight ends at Georgia because the tight ends were his best players.
Right.
And then and somebody put it, I don't know if it was on my Twitter or in the comment section, but look at what he did with Stetson Bennett. Let's talk about Stetson Bennett for a second. Stetson Bennett is almost my age. He's been to Georgia. He's been JUCO. He went back to Georgia. I think he was about to go somewhere else. Then he did his last 3 years at Georgia, or 2 years as a starting quarterback. So for real talk, though, Stetson Bennett is like 25, about to be 26. And look at what he did with Bennett. He's made that kid a potential draftee, whether it be 4th, 5th, or 6th round or 7th round. He's going to be on somebody's squad next year because of what he learned from Monken. Now, his physical tools he probably already had, but Monken was able to teach him how to process and deliver the ball, to certain spots and to certain people at certain times. And he's not a piece of the athlete that Lamar or even Snoop is. So wait till he can get his hands on both. Because keep in mind, Monken's hands ain't on neither one of them yet. Because Snoop ain't signed either.
Okay.
All right, so I'm hopeful.
I just think the firing of the previous coordinator. Usually when a coordinator gets fired, it's usually a team trying to go into a new direction, and then signing your boy, your favorite guy, OBJ.
It's my dog.
Especially if he's good, off the Achilles or ACL, whatever it was, for a full year of healing.
Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna be. I think he's the healthiest he's been in a while because he really didn't play at all last year, so he got to rest it. I think he's the healthiest he's been in a while. I don't know if his explosion and stuff is gonna be back, but as far as healthy as he can be, how a lot of people say, they come off injury. This is the best shape I've been in, or whatever. But I can kind of believe him because he didn't play at all. He took a whole year off, basically, a year and some months.
Exactly.
And he's not with the Ravens right now because I saw him at the Phoenix game under the basket last night. So he's still doing his own, he's doing his own rehab in Phoenix, I guess, because he was at the game last night under the basket.
Right. Yeah, and the other, again, it's all on Lamar. What type of defenses we're going to be facing. But if they got to do the Lamar defense, him one-on-one, even if he's not, prime Odell, he still can torch.
Yep.
He can still set you up, and that's all we need is just 1 or 2 times a game, and that opens the floodgates.
Yep. We legit got weapons now.
Right.
With a healthy healthy Bateman, the running backs, the tight ends. Cola coming in college, Cola was better than Likely. Now I don't know if he's going to return to that form, but coming out of college, Cola was better than Likely. So we got talent. We just got to get our quarterback signed and get to work. That's all it is. We got talent on offense. I think good defense. We just got to put it all together.
I think Cola is going to be I think he's going to be the big play type shot type thing. When we've set them up for the run and we think they're still thinking run, he's going to be the guy that basically is going to be the block to allow the ball to pretty much hopefully it's Lamar, sailing that bad boy down the field. And then, of course, the red zone, because of his size, it's going to be a mismatch pretty much any way you look at it. On either one of them tight ends or, one-on-one with Bateman and OBJ, and who knows, maybe even Hopkins. That's what I'm hoping for. Because if I see Hopkins sign, I'm like, all right, Lamar signed. There's no way he's going to get this opportunity.
Right. And Will, I appreciate you. We got a bunch of dudes behind you today, which I guess is the Hendo effect. So
not at all.
Not at all. No doubt, man. Stay blessed.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, it's a good call from Will. Next up, we have Mr. Steven. Steven, you live.
What's going on, Coach?
What up? Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay. We good. What you got for us?
We had a conversation, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about Jason Oweh.
Mm-hmm.
And how when I watched the video of him He is a lot better off when he's got his hand in the dirt and when he's playing in a 3 technique.
Mm-hmm.
Did we draft Kyle Hamilton as a safety, or can we bulk him up a little bit and bring him down at outside linebacker with Roquan Smith?
What I will say is he is the second best blitzer on the team already, and I don't know how much he can bulk up because he's been a skill guy all his life. But I don't see why not sticking him on the edge and maybe doing so. I think on the edge might be a little bit hard for him because of the quickness and the agility of tackles. But when he blitzes that B gap and them guards and centers can't do nothing with that quickness to go along with the few moves he have, which are a few moves more than Oweh. Sorry, Yolanda. He's effective.
Well, there's something else I was thinking about too is Matabike in Travis Jones in there in the middle. You've got to widen your splits as an offense.
Mm-hmm.
You have to widen your offensive splits, more chance for penetration and sacks.
Yeah, that's.
I truly think that we may be better as a standard 4-3.
And McDonough does that some. He does that some. There have been times where he'd have 2 defensive linemen in there, and he'd have the 2 stand-up edge guys, whether it be Oweh and Bowser, and then he run the 2 linebackers, Queen and Roquan. So and with Chuck down there, he was using Chuck a lot down there, and it was a big nickel package, but the way they lined up pre-snap was 4-3, but it just wasn't like 3 traditional linebackers. It was Kyle and Marcus deep. Then you had Chuck, you had Roquan, and you had Queen. Then you had whatever front 4 you had. So he's used it. It didn't look traditional, but he definitely used it. And also sometimes he would run Kyle down there, and we'd be in 4-4 with Marcus as the only deep safety. We'd have a 4-4.
I tell you that the guy that I'm looking for, and I thought, and the jury's still out, but it has to happen this year. Is Oweh has got to get even at least close to TJ Watt, and that's just not going to happen. The only other player that's got the size that could bulk up and do something to where he is that explosive is Kyle Hamilton. So
you basically thinking to bulk him up so he can come off that edge like Watt and like who's the other guy that when Watt was really good that they had no other, Dupree maybe. Dupree, you can have a real athletic guy. What's the other dude?
Highsmith.
Highsmith. Yeah, I understand. I see where you're going with it. Whether they thinking that or whether Hamilton would be welcome to that.
I'm just looking for a TJ Watt or a Nick Bosa. That's what I'm looking for, Coach.
Ojabo could be that guy.
Crickets.
Ojabo could be that guy. Now it was breaking up, so it might have broke up. It was breaking up earlier.
No, it was just crickets.
No,
I hope so.
Oh, there you go.
What I mean? If we could just get a little bit out there on the edges and be able to we need more sacks. We need more forced fumbles.
Yeah, definitely. We need pressure from everybody, from whatever 6 is in there or 7. We need pressure from them, whether it be Houston. I forgot Houston out there. I always call him.
I tell you what, I'm planting my flag this year with Travis Jones. I believe Travis Jones is going to bring it this year.
Travis, that's my dude, Hendo. See, I ain't the only one like Travis. Why you acting like you froze, Hendo?
No.
Listen, Yolanda is not the only one that like Oweh.
It's really good.
I do too. I think he's going to be the one to, especially with Pierce playing this year. I think when him and Pierce are in the game, there won't be running. It won't be running.
Pierce?
Yeah, Pierce is back.
You expect him to get through the season?
No, that's what Matabike is there for.
Well, anyway, I tell you what, I appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you so much, and I'll hang up and let somebody else in here. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah, Michael Pierce gonna give you 5 hot games.
Pierce gonna give you Pierce. I need 10 games out of Pierce, and then I'm gonna tell you the 10 games I need. The first 5, the last 5, including playoffs. So I need him that first 5 games to kind of show Travis what to do. Then them last 5 games, the second round of playoffs, so we're gonna have a bye. Then the conference championship and the Super Bowl. So I need him week 17, week 18, and the playoffs. That's what I need Pierce for. Okay. And the first 5 games to be a teacher. Because think about it. Just think about last year. Them first couple games when Pierce was in there, he was wrecking shop against the run.
And we played against 3 teams with injured offensive lines.
Don't matter who you put in front of me. I just got to do my job.
Mm-hmm. He did his job
Whether I scored 30 on Wessel Westbrook, or whether I scored 30 on Jamal Crawford, or whether I scored 30 on Hendo, it's still 30.
Did you call that man Westbrook?
I was trying to call his name right, but I said Westbrook. So
he was so disrespectful.
But he was hitting his shots last night, though.
Except for that last three.
He was hitting
that went off the side. He listened.
I was asleep by then. I couldn't make it. I ain't make it to the fourth quarter.
He took a three, and it went off the left side of the rim. Like, it was so I was rooting for him too. He had like 27 points. I was rooting for him.
All right, next up, and I'm gonna get this right. Next up, we have Rave Kingdom. I got it right. Rave Kingdom. I was saying this man backwards for 2 weeks. He finally corrected me yesterday. So I appreciate it. What you got for us today?
What's going on?
I mean, am I the last caller?
No, you are not the last
No?
caller. Not today.
The best
Not
caller
today.
for last.
I try to put them in order as they called in. Now, do you want to go back and be the last caller? We can do that.
I'm like, bro, listen. Every time I call, I got like what 6 good calls, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my comment section blown up. Like, yo, this dude is a good caller. But nah,
do you want? You could be the last one. I can put you back on hold. Because you can hear the show through the phone, right? You can hear the phone through the show, right? You can hear the show through the phone, right?
I really can't hear him though. Not really.
Okay. Do you want to go back on the back end or no?
Do you want to be last, latest and greatest?
The conference has been locked.
Now go ahead. Just go ahead. Go ahead, King Ray. I mean, I'm see.
Right.
Raven Kingdom. Go ahead, Raven Kingdom. My bad.
It don't matter. It was not. It's right. That's fine. It's fine. Listen. I think my personal opinion. I think everybody's a little stuck with the word change. I'm on the side of improvement, and I say that because I kind of want a mixture, improvement and picking parts, because there are things that the Ravens do that I feel like, why change that? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to reset stuff. You know, like, for example, the reason I say don't change, for example, people may not like it because they didn't like it when it was told. But when John Harbaugh came out and said, hey, listen, if you're going to join this team, you can join this team. But just know, if you're on the other side, you're going to get smacked up. And for me, I'm not saying it's good to chase people away, but I thought it was kind of a sassy way to like attract, like, look, we them dogs. I'm talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? So, and I say that because I feel like you can say those things, but still do your job as a GM to make sure you go get talent.
Right.
And spend the money, invest in time and talent. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say improvement and change is 2 different things that I think people should really think about, because I think John Harbaugh saying what he said, but that should have not stopped the GM, Stephen Cotty or Eric DeCosta. That should have not stopped them doing their jobs by going out there, investing in Lamar, surrounding him in weapons, and taking care of what needs. Fire Greg Roman, do your job. Just because John Harbaugh said, hey, you can join if you want. Just know you're going to get smacked. If you're on a different team, that's just nastiness. To me, that's Raven talk. You feel me? To me, that's really letting them know, like, we're not no pushovers. You feel me? You join, you're not. So that should change the job of Eric DeCosta and the office of what they're supposed to do when it comes to their job. Because do not sit there and say, oh, they're doing their jobs, because I can tell you specifically what I've seen a lot of Raven fans say and back up what the offense did. For example, for years, I've hated this. They kept re-signing Justin Ellis. The big
Juicy.
Jelly. His name was Jelly.
Jelly, yes. I thought it was Juicy Jelly.
Nothing for the team. The dude made 1 tackle a year, and it wasn't like a full tackle. He laid on the guy. And they go, oh my God. They clap for him. Every time, I swear to God, it's every off season. I'm like, Ravens they don't start signing anybody. And then they sign Justin Ellis. And I'm like, bro, why did you sign him again? And I look at the comment section and everybody be like, it's for depth. It's for depth. Are you serious? You can get any guy for depth and replace that big jelly, Justin Ellis, that did nothing for the team. Absolutely nothing. So I get if he was doing something and you're like, okay, he's good for depth. but he did nothing. So that's why I say improvement must happen rather than more change.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I wouldn't change some things. I would say improvement because you had Lamar Jackson for so long and you had maybe 1 or 2 targets. So you must improve that in order to get 4 or 5 extra targets because we need to improve the offense or we need to improve the playbook. So for example, Todd, the new offense coordinator we got.
Monkey.
We're about to see what he does, right? But we're also about to see what improvements can he do too. You know what I'm saying? Because he can give us all the offensive things he want to do, and we're gonna say, hey, well, you know what? You could have improved a little bit on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our team should more improve rather than change because, like I said, I wouldn't change this amazing defense for nobody. I wouldn't change the attitude for nobody. I wouldn't change the Ravens mindset when it comes to if you come in our field, I'm about to knock your lights out. You know what I'm saying? Don't change that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we do need to improve. We do need to improve our coverage, or we do need to improve our passing game, or whatever it got to be. I say I'm rather on the side of improve more than change.
Gotcha. Hendo, I'll let you comment on it. Basically, he's saying not necessarily change, but improve. What you think about that?
I agree and I disagree with what he said. Yeah, we need to improve. Maybe the word we need to use is adaptation. We need to adapt to certain things. Hold
on a minute. Rave Kingdom. He basically saying that the word probably should be adaptation and not necessarily change or improve, but adaptability. But go ahead, Hendo.
I like that.
The part that I disagree with is the part with him saying that, John Harbaugh said what he said about, hey, we don't need wide receivers to come here if you change the stats and everything.
Wow.
When he said that part, you make it hard for your general manager to go out there and sign talent. But nonetheless, the general manager should have gone out there and signed talent. Mm-hmm. I just think teams and players are ego-driven and they want to go where they're wanted. It's not always about money. It's about where they're wanted. And for the head coach to be like, listen, if you want to come over here and you're about your stats and you're about this and that, we don't want you. We'll play against you on Sundays. But the thing is, that's how wide receivers get their money, by their stats. Mm-hmm. And the thing about that, I'm a little iffy on the, we're going to smack him in the mouth because we're not the Ravens of old. If we were going to smack teams in the mouth, we'd have done it to Tennessee when they were on our logo dancing.
True. So that's basically he said, we didn't, because I know you didn't hear much. Long story short, if we still was the type of team that smacked people in the mouth, we would have did it to Tennessee when they was dancing on the logo. Basically. Yeah. But just check out his. You probably have to go back on the YouTube and check out his reply to you. But it was a good reply, and we can continue this conversation at another time because I still got a couple people behind you.
Couple?
Yeah, I got a couple people behind you. So I appreciate you. I'm gonna get this right. Rave Kingdom for calling, and make sure you hit us next week because we're gonna have some fire topics next week, and hopefully some good news. Hopefully, especially with the draft coming up.
Oh, for sure. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. We got two more. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be a good one for you, Hendo.
Me.
Yeah. D Weezy.
What's going on?
That's right, D Weezy in the building. And I think this draft is gonna highlight whether it be adaptation, change, it's gonna say a lot about what the Ravens are doing or how they're viewing things because we've seen over the past few years clear holes be neglected because of more or less the Raven way or a specific mindset or philosophy that they've been running. And either the same people that are still there, as in Harbaugh and EDC, that have been calling the shots are still going to be calling the shots, or they got zero involvement and it was all Greg Roman, which seems highly suspect. I think in a lot of ways the OBJ signing was an attempt to pacify fans because they're unsure what might go down with Lamar. This is an organization where I know I've heard Hendo say it a number of times. Players that want out, players that request trades, they do whatever they can to make that happen because if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. And Lamar made it clear his stance on that. And I think what potentially something that's bothered him is especially something like past drafts. When you look at them, the amount of offensive talent versus defensive talent and where it's viewed and taken. And you look at things like the wide receiver core and half the players that they've drafted in the time that Lamar has been here, which hadn't been that many to begin with, are no longer with the team. And the ones still with the team have given little to zero production for the team. And I think as a player, when you're viewing things like where you want to play and where you want to lock yourself into a potentially multi-year, 5, 6, 7-year deal, you got to have certain certainties. And I don't think he's seen that out of the Ravens. And clearly he wants out. And it's just a question of, does he get out before this year or after this year?
Hendo?
I agree. He's absolutely right. I look at this whole situation kind of like the myth of diabetes. And the reason I say that is because the myth about diabetes is sugar gives you diabetes, which it does not. It's everything inside of it. The sugar is just put there to entice you. So the move with OBJ, the possible signing of D-Hop, that's to entice Lamar. I actually need to see the product on the field because they're doing whatever they can to make sure that Lamar wants to stay and be here. And I'm not particularly sure that once they get him back here, much is going to change. Now, I know you're high on Todd Monken. I have high hopes for him as well. But if you actually listen to John Harbaugh when he speaks at these press conferences, he said many a times, we're the Ravens and we still have the Raven way, no matter who the offensive coordinator is. So I need to see the product on the field before I can really speak intelligently on it, because we need to see things change. We as an organization are creatures of habit. And no matter what shiny toy we get, we stick to old habits. We got Lamar. He was a shiny new toy that exceeded expectations. And unbeknownst to most of us, he could throw the ball. But we still did not adapt our offense to his skill set. So just because we brought in Todd Monken, because we've had many an offensive coordinator here, and a lot of things didn't change. Joe Flacco, he got a lot of flack because people was like, he's not an elite quarterback. He's not very good. But what people didn't look at was the fact that the offensive coordinators that John Harbaugh brought in here didn't adapt to Joe Flacco's strengths. They tried to implement the offense that they knew how to run and fit him in it. And that's where we tend to fail. So I need to see the first 3 or 4 games before I kind of see what this team is actually about.
And speaking on the Flacco thing, to piggyback, Flacco ain't had weapons either after the Super Bowl run. They did Flacco dirty too in the weapons department. So, and I was one of the guys that wanted Lamar to come in and stay and move on from Flacco, but I ain't gonna I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Flacco did not have elite weapons. Steve Smith was at the end of his career when he came here. Flacco did not have elite weapons. Now they did try a couple times and failed miserably.
Did they, Coach? You bringing in 32 and 33-year-old receivers at the end of the
I'm talking about Pearman and Thomas Streeter, and I'm talking about them kids.
Right. But when do you as an organization or even as an owner say, you know what? At least we're gonna give it at least the last 10 years. We've been trying to draft wide receivers and we just ain't hitting. We need to find another avenue and another route to go, because we just
ain't no other route than spend money on a free agent. Is either draft them or spend them on a free agent that's already established.
Okay.
So we went one route. We just kept hitting the X button, The X button don't work.
It don't.
But so now I think about it. I think Odell still fits that he still fits in that stigma, older wide receiver. So.
Oh yeah, and came off the streets. Wasn't on the team. Hadn't been playing. I mean. He's just the best of that classification that has been brought into the team.
Yeah, you're right. He still fits that mold. He's just the best of the guys that we brought in to do so.
He was the best of the rest of the free agent crop that was left.
Yeah,
when we decided to make a move.
We have a comment that my wife and a couple of our friends say that it's thinner than and I ain't gonna say the name, but thinner than, and she know what I'm talking about. And that's what Odell was. He was thinner than, and she knows what name I'm talking about. So, hey, I appreciate you, D Weezy, for calling. D, it's your first time coming through, right?
Yeah, this is my first time. Hopefully not the last. Well, no, I'm off on Wednesday. See, I
Oh.
usually be working when you be going live, so
Gotcha.
ain't really feasible.
Gotcha.
And just wanted to call in. Love what you do with the channels and all the draft coverage and everything, Coach. Always love everything Hendo's doing and putting out there. And
Appreciate
also,
you, bro.
just wanted to say, got money on the Kings to win the series, so like the beam.
I will say this
I take that back.
before D Weezy get out of here. D Weezy is a gunslinger member. He has his purple Kool-Aid chalice. So hey, be like D Weezy. Will G called in, he's one also. Yolanda's in the chat box, she's one also. D Weezy's one. So hey, we need y'all to go to the patreon.com/sip-the-tally. Either tier. But the gunslinger tier gets you the Sip the Tally chalice. But it's a bunch of things that's in there. There are a bunch of perks. And and we all know this is the downtime of NFL.
Thanks.
This is the downtime of NFL. So once we get closer to August, and that's when the other stuff will kick in. But go ahead, get started now. Because I need 4 more people to fill up the first Sip the Tally league. And if we get more than that, we'll start a second. So hey,
Coach,
go ahead.
Hey, Coach, look, and I'm not just saying this. That's a really nice chalice.
Appreciate it.
Like me and B was talking about it. We're like, that is a really nice glass. Not just cat because of Moorhead. Y'all listen.
Keep in mind, I can't take all the credit. The missus
I know it wasn't you.
The missus won't let me do nothing half-ass.
I know it wasn't you.
She won't let. She will burn me before anybody let me do something half-ass. So appreciate it. Appreciate you, D Weezer. We got one more thing before we get up out of here. One more thing. Let me set it up.
Okay.
Set it up. And it's you kind of alluded to it earlier.
Oh.
So let me close this out.
I'm clairvoyant.
I get because we hadn't talked about it at all. Only message we had was what time we was gonna start. All right, so give me 1 second to get to it. I don't know where I saved that. I do know where I saved it. I just gotta find it.
Hey, Will G, I appreciate you for signing up for the football league, the Coaches Football League. You know what I mean? I saw that you had joined the league a little bit earlier. We need some competition in there. I'm not saying you're not competition, Coach, because I know you know your stuff. I'm just saying I need more competition. So I need a legit stack. I need a first place schedule. So when I win, it makes it more sweeter.
That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded right there.
Listen,
let me show you. Let me show you what he's talking about.
I like to play the best. I don't like to skate by. I like to play the best.
You don't want a 4th place schedule, huh?
Nah.
So this is what's in hand. The Cuban link, first ever Sip the Tally fantasy football chain. Cuban link. So this is what you're playing for. Patreon.com/Sip the Tally. Now,
yeah, y'all don't want me to win that.
I know y'all can't hear me because I turned my back.
We can hear you.
To close the show out, Hendo kind of alluded to it earlier, but let me throw this up here. You can see that, Hendo?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know where it came from, but somebody mentioned this could be blasphemous for some people. So you cannot say because they won the Super Bowl is your reasoning, and not necessarily you, but I'm just saying anybody. What I did was I compared the 2000 team versus the 2016 because I didn't say it. Somebody told me to go back and look at the 2006 team and say that defense was better. So if you see on your screen, and I'll make it big. I'll let the people see everything. Then we'll bring us back. 2000 Ravens on the left, 2006 Ravens on the right. Points given up. Both of them was first. Total defense, meaning yards. 2006 was 1, 2002 was 2. Turnover margin, 2000 was 1, 2006 was 2. Versus the pass, 2006 was better. Harry was on that team. 2000 was 8. All right. Versus the run, 2000 was better. Obviously with Goose and Ray and all them got them Florida State guys he had and everybody obviously better. And then average drive time, meaning the amount of time the offense had the ball or the time it took the defense to get the ball, both of them was first. Right. So with this being said, and these are really, really close numbers, the same amount of wins, on each side. And I probably could have went deeper into this dive, but this is all my little stats thing that I'm learning, allow me to do.
Yes, sir.
In your mind, and y'all in the chat too. And if you're watching the replay, put it in the comment section below. Which defense, and take the Super Bowl out. Don't say 2000 because they won the Super Bowl. But even if you think that Which one is the better defense?
To me,
yes,
2006.
Okay.
Hands down. Listen, they were both great defenses, and I might even put 2004's defense ahead of 2000. But what you have to look at, like if you look at the passing right there,
Mhm.
2000 Ravens were 8th in passing. 2006 is 6th in passing. But if you look at the quarterbacks, they played in 2000. They literally played a schedule full of backup quarterbacks, and still came in 8th in passing yards. We played some studs in 2006. We held Peyton Manning to no touchdowns in the playoffs and lost because we gave up 5 field goals because the offense, once again, great defense. With no offense, you don't win. So listen, if you can next time, put 2004 up against them as well. But yes, Clot said it. The 2000 Ravens looked better because they won a championship.
Yeah,
they ended the season with a dominant Super Bowl,
which is the main goal. It is the main goal, but just for argument's sake.
Yes, for argument's sake, they won it. All hail to them. They didn't give up a touchdown in the Super Bowl. But if you look at the plays that were made in 2004 and 2006, like the defense was turning the ball over, maybe not as much, but they were scoring a lot. The situational defense to me was a little bit better because the 2016 team maybe took a turnover from us and got down the field, but they weren't getting in the end zone.
Right.
So for me, it's 2006. I know people are going to be biased and say 2000, but if you actually look at the numbers, y'all go when you get a chance, look at all 16 starting quarterbacks. And like you said, Coach, you can only play who they put in front of you.
Right.
But look at the starting quarterbacks that 2000 season had, and you still didn't beat the 2016 in passing, in pass ranking.
And I'll be, completely honest. Before I started doing this, before I even looked this up, I would have said 2000 hands down. And when I saw the numbers, and because I was like, damn,
real close.
And I didn't think about 04. Only reason I looked at 06 because somebody says, I don't know if it was chat box or wherever I saw it. I did that, but before doing this, before the stream started, I would have thought 2000 hands down. But now, taking the Super Bowl out, because we know, yes, they're gonna be best because they won Super Bowl. But I'm saying, just taking that out, that 2006 was pretty damn good. And I'm gonna have to go back and look at 04 too and see.
Yes, sir.
But that may be a topic for us Monday. Let it marinate for the weekend, and that'd be a topic for us to kind of throw out that Monday and on the round table with all of us there.
And like Jimmy said, 2000 because they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But like you said, if we were to take the Super Bowl out, you have an argument.
Gotcha.
But you can't argue versus the champs.
Exactly. So I'm saying this is good to go back and forth, but they finished the job. Just like the and I hate to bring this up because I was with you that whole season. The 73 win Warriors.
Yeah.
That didn't finish the job.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same boat. So again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. We hitting the hour right on the head. I think we have 58 minutes. Oh, we're an hour and 3 minutes. No, 58 because I started a 5-minute countdown. Appreciate you, Hendo, for coming through. Let the people know where they can find you that don't subscribe to you so far.
You can find me on the Rogue Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Do a show every Saturday night.
Upgrade.
Yes, sir. I do a show every Saturday night, hanging with Hendo. Live stream Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Just recapping the week that was in the NFL and sports. Hopefully, I have some good news about the Warriors coming up this upcoming Sunday. Like he said, Tuesdays, Steel Conspiracy with Suge Knight, 9:15 p.m. Fridays, 6 p.m. Mr. Galloway, Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway, talking all things hip hop, especially old school. We got the top 30. Listen, Coach, we just recorded the first 10 of the top 30 greatest duos, rap groups of all time yesterday. Cool. And I can tell you, looking at
how much? Because I fumbled the bag. How many? What I'm trying to say. How much output from the public did you get from? Did you get from? Did you get a lot or a little, or y'all just put y'all heads together?
No, we got some output. Okay, Megan, I'll send every Sunday. We got output from Twitter and people that weren't in the circle.
Okay.
And the whole time I'm calculating everything up. I was just thinking about Coach the whole time. I'm like, this has a lot of Southern flavor in it. Because I know during the regular top 30 countdown, you were like, are y'all biased? Because it's not a lot of Southern rappers in this top 30. But as far as groups and duos go, the South may have dominated this list.
Okay, cool. Well, all I'm gonna say is As long as 8 Ball and MJG on there, I'm good. Because I know Outkast is going to be in the top 10 somewhere. I think.
Listen, if you have any issues with this list, blame Dre. Dre's people always know how to mess up a list. And I will say this: Bradley and Jose is 2 groups in there. Bradley and Jose single-handedly inched them up.
We're gonna have to talk about that off camera.
Yes, sir.
But again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Again, thank you, Hendo, for coming through. And closing remarks for me is don't forget to subscribe to more Sip the Tally. Go over to that channel. That's where you got a lot of draft videos. The other 31 teams are going to be featured over there because more Sip the Tally is what, Hendo?
For the streets.
For the streets. If you want to support the channel, please do so. The Cash App is there. PayPal is also there. It's Coach Evans 9. But the easiest way to do it is the Patreon. That's at patreon.com/Sip the Tally. We got different tiers there. You know, I talked about the different levels and what you can get from each level earlier, and just support.
Brandon wants to know how far away are we from 8K.
I'm telling you, like, I'm about to say, just stop thinking about it because it'd be stressing me a little bit.
Man,
just let it. I'm gonna let it come when it comes. But we are 50. No, we're 49 away.
Listen, if you want to do the call-in show for the Ravens Roundtable, it has to be 8K by the draft. So you have 8 days.
Yep.
8 days to get it done. Tell a friend. Listen, like Jose said, go log on to a loved one's computer, laptop. It don't matter. Smart TV, whatever you got. Log into somebody else's stuff. Click. Because I know, listen, it may not be me personally, but I know some of y'all want to yell at Brodney. I know y'all want to yell at Jose. Maybe even Chris. Nobody wants to yell at Mike. So make sure you get that done.
Right. Exactly. And today wasn't bad, was it?
Oh, no. Listen.
Today wasn't bad. Today wasn't bad at all.
Listen, your people, for the 99.9%, your people are really respectful. Even if they disagree with you, it's real respectful. We all can disagree and have different views on things. You explain your views, I explain mine. Nobody is to say who's right. So that's why we don't have issues. Because everybody just, even in the chats, I don't see a lot of people yelling at each other, telling them they stupid or they wrong. So that's why I love the community that you have built.
We was raised right.
Facts.
So shout out to the community, shout out to everybody in the chat box, and shout out to you if you're watching, later. Again, put your comments in the comment section if you're watching later about who you think is the greatest Ravens defense.
What's up, Jose?
And again, take out the championship. Take out the championship, and statistically, who you think is the greatest Ravens defense. So this is we made it a month. We made it a full month. My nervousness is gone back from that first show. We made it a month. We are 13 episodes in. Monday we'll be a teenager as a show. So I appreciate y'all. And keep it next week. Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I will say you doing this has inspired me. So as far as the call-in shows go, I'm not gonna do
it. Good setup. Good. You call me a little pump fake this then.
Oh no, you've inspired me because I was thinking about it before, and then I saw you, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I'm gonna leave that for him.
I appreciate it. I forgot my last point. You got me laughing. I don't even know what it was. Next week. So this is what you get next week. Obviously, you get the call-in show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You got the roundup Monday night. Thursday and Friday, you get 8 of us. 8 of us for the draft. The normal 6, plus Michael Crawford and Kerry Stevenson from the Deep Cover Podcast. You get 8 of us. So you get a stream on this channel every day next week, a live stream.
That is fact.
So fix your schedule. You get 2 Monday, 1 Tuesday, 1 Wednesday, and 1 Thursday, 1 Friday. And I'm working on another one. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm waiting on a response. Waiting on a response from somebody. So again, I appreciate everybody for coming out. Tell a friend to subscribe. I know you guys have already liked it. And we'll see y'all soon, man. We'll see you. Hey, tonight, 6. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong time. 7:15. 7:15, lunch break, hot take. Be there, go to their show, support. They have a great show, talked about sports and talk a little Ravens, a little Panthers, a little basketball, a little boxing, everything. So make sure you be there and we have a great time in the chat box on their show too, just like we do on this channel. So again, you got something today, Hendo?
Do I have something today?
Yes.
No, but I had a question though.
Go ahead.
Who do you think is wrong in the situation, Sabonis or Draymond?
I think both are.
Okay.
I think both are, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
First of all, a lot of people don't realize Sabonis grabbed Clay and threw him.
Yeah, he did.
He grabbed Clay and threw him, and then while he was on the ground, he grabbed Draymond's leg. So I'm like Shaq. I like Dre. I did the same thing. I probably wouldn't have stepped on your chest. I probably would have stepped on your nads, but I would have did the same thing.
Okay.
Don't be grabbed. And he already had been trying to bully them all game.
He did. I mean, he was
trying to bully Looney, try to bully Draymond, and Looney was holding his ground.
But didn't Sabonis Draymond?
Yes.
And that's the problem. That's what I have a problem with.
And Draymond got suspended because of his pass.
Yeah.
His pass. They both of them got a tick, if I'm not mistaken. They either both should have got ejected. Whatever one got, the other one should have got. That's what I feel.
True.
So,
but it came at the wrong time, Coach. Like they were down 4. They had the technical free throw coming, could have cut it to 3, and they had the ball.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give you a little extra content. The Warriors, they can't beat them, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they running them ragged the first 3 quarters, and even though the Warriors hanging in, by the 4th quarter they tired.
And the Warriors normally the team that runs teams around.
Right.
They can't go with them young boys.
And I told my wife last night, they are not better than the Warriors. They're younger.
True.
They're younger, and Mike got the key, got the answer to the test.
Yes, he do.
Mike got the answer to the test. If that would have been any other matchup, it'd probably been great. And if they beat Golden State, they're gonna give everybody else trouble because they so darn fast. The Lakers want to slow it down. Clippers want to slow it down. Phoenix want to slow it down. I don't know what Denver wanted. I ain't watched that game yet. Yeah, everybody else in the West trying to play a half court game. King ain't.
They running and gunning.
King's out there like Forrest Gump turning that corner. No, the King's running that post like the man don't get out.
Facts.
So we out here, man. We out here. We're over an hour. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, sign up to Hendo's channel and Patreon. This, if you can't find it, this is what it looks like. It looks like this. It's changed to the Rogue Pod. Rogue Pod on all platforms and social medias. Peace, y'all.